Hey folks, it's Jang here from UltimateRC.com, and this is my review of the Traxxas Rally VXL Ken Block Gymkhana Edition. This is the hot new 1/16th scale RTR, and if you haven't seen the Ken Block Gymkhana videos, the real ones of the actual full-scale car, you need to check them out after you watch this review. Just do a little bit of Googling or a little bit of searching on YouTube and you will find them. They are absolutely sick. Now this scale RC version from Traxxas is a pretty accurate rendition, pretty accurate replica of Ken Block's actual car. They did a really great job of capturing the lines of that Ford Motorsports Fiesta body, and they've got great graphics on it. But beneath the brand new body is a familiar chassis. It is the 1/16th scale Mini E-Revo chassis once again. Same chassis that was used on the Mini/VXL, same chassis that was used on the Mini Summit VXL and brushed editions. They've just retuned it for on-road use. The chassis layout remains the same and the electronics are the same. It still has the waterproof servo, waterproof VXL 3M speed control, and the Mini Valenion brushless motor. The suspension has been slammed though, and they've also removed down travel by using longer shock bodies. For wheels and tires, you've got standard 24mm sedan rims and sedan tires. Now the tires are slicks, but they're a very hard rubber compound to make it easier to drift. Now I mentioned that this is called a 1/16th scale vehicle because it's based on the 1/16th scale E-Revo platform. But when you put this body on it, it's really not 1/16th scale. It's actually closer to 1/12th scale. If you look at the actual dimensions versus the real vehicle, you'll see that it is very close to 1/12th scale. Here it is next to a 190mm standard 1/10th scale sedan. In the box you'll find a 1200 mAh nickel metal hydride battery pack. It's a 6-cell and it comes with a wall charger to go with it. And the vehicle is controlled by a Traxxas Link 2.4 GHz radio system. Well, enough of the studio shots, it's time to drive. This is the type of footage I would show if I was the manufacturer, or a fanboy, or a magazine. Thankfully for you, I'm none of the above. Nope, no sugarcoating. This is what actually went down. So I started my testing on-road on an asphalt surface because this is an on-road styled vehicle. You know, it has slick tires and a low ride height and all that. So I went about trying to drive around the track nice and fast and aggressive to try to get some of that Gymkhana style of driving going, a little bit of drifting in the corners and whatnot. The VXL and Valenion micro-sized brushless system gets the vehicle up to speed quite quickly with the low rotating mass of the smaller wheels and tires and the light weight overall. It is quite quick and pretty fast, quite fast out of the box, even with just one single battery. Of course, you can hook up two batteries in series with a series adapter, which is available separately from Traxxas, or you can make your own. Now, speed and acceleration are great and all, but what about turning? Didn't really quite do so well in the turns, not nearly as well as I expected it to, especially after seeing the ads and promotional videos for this car and thinking about what Ken Block actually did with his car and what just rally car drivers do in general with full-scale cars. I expected to be able to drift around the corners with some consistency, and I didn't get that consistency from this car. It tends to want to get into a drift and then either completely straighten up, get full traction again, or spin out entirely. I was not able to get it to give nice, long, consistent drifts like a drift car. But I wasn't quite satisfied with what I was seeing, and I wanted it to do better, especially with the whole drifting thing. So I went and got some drift tires from an actual drift car that I've driven before quite successfully and threw those on the car. This is what happened. With the right tires for scale drifting, the problems with performance were only amplified, and I had even more trouble keeping it from spinning out in the turns. Again, I was not able to get any really long, consistent drifts for more than one turn. As soon as you try to do some switchbacks, the extreme chassis roll and just the weight distribution with a lot of weight up high compared to a regular sedan, I wasn't able to chain different drifts together in different directions like I'm easily able to do with an actual proper drift car. And no, it's not just me. More on that later. But before I wrapped up my on-road testing, I tried one more thing. I put on some actual race tires, some nice sticky race compound that have been treated recently with traction compound, and that worked. Now, the vehicle was able to get around turns without spinning out, and even though it did have a lot of body roll, it was able to stick and it had good performance in general. It was of course not as nimble as a low-slung, purpose-built racing sedan, but it was still good. I really couldn't complain. Next up, it was time to hit the dirt, because this is after all a rally car, and most of the time when folks in RC think about rally cars, for some reason they think about driving on dirt and gravel. Well, this is really not a purpose-built rally car for off-road use. It is a purpose-built rally car for on-road use. There are different styles of tuning a rally car, but I still wanted to try this off-road and thought it might do halfway decently since it is based on a purely off-road chassis. Unfortunately, didn't do so well. The tires really don't have much traction at all, which is not a surprise. They are slick tires, and unfortunately I wanted to try out some of my actual rally tires, but they don't fit on this vehicle. Most rally tires are 26 millimeters, and the tires that this vehicle needs are 24 millimeters, and the wheels that come on this vehicle actually have a bit of negative offset. Any normal wheels that would fit normal rally tires properly are going to give you body rub. So again, trying to get the vehicle to perform well, I went ahead and raised the ride height by adjusting the shocks, and then I handed the controls over to one of our best local off-road racing drivers to see if we could get some decent footage of it. It handled the bumps better with the ride height raised up like that, but it still wasn't able to get around the track very well. This is not an off-road car, it is purely an on-road car. If you want to drive it off-road, you're going to have to do some modifications, a bunch of upgrades, and at that point, why don't you just buy a Mini E Revo? Alright, time to sum things up. You know, even though the handling of this vehicle was pretty mediocre on all the different surfaces that I tried it on, I still had a lot of fun driving the Traxxas Rally VXL. If you have never driven a proper on-road car before, this is definitely going to be a very fun vehicle for you to try out. It's quick, it is fast also, quick acceleration, fast top speed. The fact that it has tires that have a little bit of slip to them means that you can kick out the rear end, hit the brakes a little bit and do a little bit of counter steer turning. You can do donuts and stuff, even if you're not able to do controlled drifts like the advertisements might suggest, or like watching the full-scale vehicle would kind of inspire you to try. It still can definitely give you hours and hours of fun driving experience if you're not going to be serious about it. Also, because it's Traxxas, you're going to have great customer service available for it, and because it's based on the 1/16 scale Mini E Revo platform that's been out for quite a while, it's really easy to get parts for this. One more good thing about it also, durability. I took this thing through a lot of spins and cartwheels and landing on its lid and landing on its corners, and a lot more stuff than was even shown in my raw driving videos that I've also put up. And very little broke. I did have some breakages, but nothing that I would say were just the fault of bad engineering on it. Very good durability. The fact that it has the body really covering up the wheels helps to protect it. In cartwheel situations, you get the body actually absorbing a lot of the impact. So durability, very good. However, I have driven on-road, proper on-road cars before that are specifically designed for on-road driving. And I can drive them just fine. And as an on-road car, the Traxxas Rally VXL just doesn't do it. The handling is not good. Center of gravity is high, doesn't really have a whole lot of tuning options like proper sedans do. And I would, if you really want to try out on-road racing or on-road driving for the first time, I would really recommend that you broaden your horizons and open your eyes a little bit and check into some things other than what's made by Traxxas. There are other manufacturers out there that also produce quality products other than Traxxas, and for less money you can get a much better handling on-road vehicle. Just look around a little bit, do some Googling, ask around on forums. You will find that you will be able to spend a lot less money and get a vehicle that handles better on road. Now, as a drifter, it was not designed to be a drifter. However, a lot of folks want to drift with it, and you look at the promotional videos and such, and you see little short clips of the Rally VXL doing little short drifts around corners. However, I have driven actual drifting cars, purpose-built drifting cars, or drift cars based on touring car chassis before, and as a drift car, the Traxxas Rally VXL, again, just doesn't hold up. It does not have the finesse, it does not have the weight distribution that you want to work for drifting. Even with drifting tires on it, still did not do well. And no, it's not just me, because I've got videos on my channel showing that I am able to drift pretty decently, not great, but pretty decently, with a touring car, a couple of different touring car based drift cars. As a drift car, Traxxas Rally VXL, no. And what about driving off-road, or what a lot of people consider to be standard quote-unquote rally driving, where you're on just light dirt or on gravel, maybe with some small jumps in there. Again, I have driven purpose-built 1/10 scale touring car based rally cars that drive much better than the Traxxas Rally VXL. Also, the fact that this in stock form uses these negative offset wheels, and they're 24 millimeters, makes it difficult to fit larger wheels and tires on there, wider ones. Most rally tires are 26 millimeters. You very quickly get into problems of body rub when running standard wheels, even with so-called zero offset and 26 millimeter rally tires. You can make them fit. You may end up needing to do a little bit of trimming and such, but even at that, still the handling of this vehicle is just not as good. Overall, Traxxas Rally VXL was a fun car. It's very durable, but it's just not a good value to me. I've driven too many other vehicles that prove that you can do better for your money if you want to get an on-road car or a half-on, half-off-road rally car. You can do a lot better. Or if you really want to focus on just off-road driving, skip this altogether, go straight to the Mini E-Revo or to any cheaper off-road truck or buggy. So that about does it for this summary review of the Traxxas Rally VXL Ken Block Gymkhana Edition. And if you want to see more driving footage of this vehicle, I've got practically unedited, just raw videos of the vehicle driving on-road, off-road, and with all three different sets of tires that I tried on it. Those are all on my channel. Just plain raw footage, like I said, absolutely minimal editing, nothing done to try to make the car look any better or worse than it actually is. Just plain stuff, showing you the actual experience of it. It's all on my channel. If you want to see more driving footage of various vehicles as well as honest, unbiased reviews, be sure to subscribe to youtube.com/ultimatercnetwork. And of course, as always, if you have any questions about this or other vehicles, be sure to post up your questions at the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com. And I will talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.